Good morning. Welcome to Live with Joan. It's a beautiful morning and it's a Tuesday, which means for me it's the longest day of the week. But starting here, which is always my favorite way to start a day. And we have lots of stuff going on, lots to share. And is anyone coming on?
Let's give them a second. Yes,
Okay.
people are coming on.
If you're new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, author, TEDx speaker, and founder of Communication with All Life University, which is a program where you can learn animal communication or become an animal communicator. You can learn energy healing for animals or become an energy healer. And you can learn, commune with, advocate for nature and wildlife. So we have lots of things coming up in the school. And personally, I just finished yesterday, thinking about 4 p.m. I hit submit on EFT for animals and their humans, which will be published by Findhorn Press. And when I thought I had a breather, so they're in Scotland, and I got it in right around midnight their time. But it's also owned by Inner Traditions, which is an American company, so I didn't feel badly that I missed the deadline because it was still a deadline in my country. Anyway, um, when I hit submit, I thought I was going to have a little bit of a breather before I had to address some of the publicity stuff. But um, this morning I woke up to 10 million emails saying, okay, we need this for the catalog, this for the catalog, this for the catalog, this for the catalog. It's like, oh my God, by tomorrow. And today I go from here to teaching advanced animal communication, behavior, and dynamics. I have a coach. I then have a Jill and Joan meeting. I have another company with Dr. Jill Todd where we have CBD and acupressure classes. And then I teach at 5. So I'm not sure when this is going to happen, but apparently I'll be writing the info for the book for the catalog for both Inner Traditions and Findhorn Press by tomorrow. So that's my news. And so for those that don't know, I'm only going to share this, but if there are any comments that are advice, they will be deleted because that's what we do here. Actually, in the school, people don't realize that we really hold space for people. So I'm also going to show you something that I normally would never show, but I don't want sympathy and I don't want any advice. But I am, let's see if I can show this. Can you see my foot? There's my foot. That's what I should have taken to the store yesterday. So anyway, here we are.
And
it's not broken, or it is broken and the bone is healed or something, but it's just a little sore today. So it's a day that I'm teaching, so my foot can be up all day. That's my news.
And the reason we will delete advice is because in the school we're very big on you don't give advice unless asked for it.
Yeah,
because we allow the person, right?
Yeah.
We allow space for the person to be the master of their own healing.
That was something that, it's like I loved Penny, who went through the school a couple of years ago. She's a life coach, and she actually said something so great. I'll never forget. She was actually sitting in this chair, and it was at one of the intensives before the pandemic. And she said, I always say, I want my client to be the author of their own life. And I was like, okay, I'm going to steal that. But it really is, holding space is such an art form, and it's something we do a lot of in the fall intensive, and it's not too early to start thinking about the fall intensive, right? Because you'll need to book flights and what have you. And since we're here, we'll just tell the dates. It's
Okay, so really quick, while you're looking up dates,
October
Erin?
7th through the 15th. Yes.
Yes. Erin says, I know you said no advice, but I heard that coffee and wine helps with all of that. Just saying.
Oh, now that's advice I will take, because those have really helped a lot.
And ice cream. I hear ice cream.
Oh yeah.
Vegan ice cream.
Vegan Ben and Jerry's chocolate cookie dough has been my best friend through the book. And one day, yeah, and I will text Claudia and be like, uh-oh. And she'll be, because she knows when she worked here in person, I would be like, I would do something, and about a half hour later, my tummy hurts. That's weird. My tummy hurts.
She'd eaten a whole bag of the cookie dough.
So there's vegan cookie dough bits, and I ate the whole bag. But there was the other time that I ate all that bread. We had the gluten-free pasta, and I was like, wow, is there gluten in that? Anyway, so that's it. I'm sitting here. I'm excited to teach. I've got really good animals that we're talking to today in the advanced animal communication. So it's a big day because we start medical intuition for the group that just ended animal communication level 1. And so they've got 12 weeks of that. And then the people that just finished animal communication medical intuition are moving into animal communication behaviors, dynamics, and I'm going to add the word relationships, especially after working on the EFT book, because that's largely what I did. I used to joke in the late 90s that I felt like I was a relationship specialist. But yeah, so we've got a pack of 3 dogs for the advanced animal communication to connect with. And then tonight, someone in the advanced animal communication, someone that had been signed up, did teacher training, taught for a little bit. I haven't really talked to her since probably 2014. She's got 2 foster dogs that are timid, so we're talking to them tonight in class. So we've got a really, at least have a fun, yeah, really cool. She's very excited to be just kind of looped back in. So yeah, it's awesome. And like I said, I get to just sit here with my foot up. Pretty good. All right. Who's here? Well, we know Erin is with awesome advice.
Leslie Williams says hi.
Hi, Leslie.
Chris Wilson says good morning. Erin says good morning. Joyce Lee Leggett says hi. Tanya says good morning.
Good morning.
Heidi Ebbets says congratulations, Joan, on the book. I'm assuming not the leg.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the leg. I mean, it was like, if it was broken, that's the fastest recovery ever. Yeah. And if it's not broken, I'm just so lucky. So I had a horse, one of my horses, who she just was aiming for a fly. She literally like cocked her leg all the way back and went bam right on the top of my foot. And of course, I was not in safe shoes, which I always tell everyone to be wearing safe shoes. I was standing behind a horse, and yeah, it was all the things you're not supposed to do. So I can't complain. It was my own damn fault. So anyway, anyone else?
Yeah, Kristen Hedberg says hello. Susie says good morning.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, Susie.
Tanya says, woohoo, congratulations about the book. Kristen Hedberg says, congratulations.
Yeah, it was big.
For your foot, Susie says, damn. Okay, wait, where did everybody? Oh my God, it's okay, hold on. I'm losing everything. Hold on. So a bunch of people commented and then it scrolled up. Agnes says, hi, Joan. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Agnes.
Hi, Agnes.
Lynn Bridge says, hi, everyone.
Hi, Lynn.
We have Julie Webb. Maureen Bissonette says, good morning.
Good morning, Maureen and Julie.
Kristen says, the things you do to teach us, Joan.
I take it for the team.
You're a giver.
I am. Oh, and how.
Sure. Cheryl Cook says, beautiful day to everyone.
Yeah, and it is a gorgeous day here in California. Tomorrow we start energy healing for animals, which is very exciting. We have Yeah, so we have an 11 a.m. and a 5 p.m. And I'm, look at a rare appearance from Queen Latifah. I just put her tail up even higher. So yeah, we might have room in one of them if you'd have to talk to Shannon. So if you have any questions about the program, about joining us for the fall intensive, AC level 1, energy healing for animals. We also have the intro class. Shannon, maybe you could write in there about the intro class. We have an intro class once a week, and it's very fun. And Renee is kind of the captain of that ship, and she's a great teacher. God knows she has 10 million animals. I just wrote, actually, one of my favorite stories in the new book is about her taking home a dog from the shelter, and it just, that first night didn't think it wasn't going to go well. And she woke up and tapped on the dog and tapped the next morning, and he's now the easiest with all the dogs. So it's a great story.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, I put the link in if anybody wants to reach out to Shannon, and I also put the link in for the energy healing for animals starting tomorrow. And I'm excited right now of who's coming on. So
Yeah. Okay. So we have a big guest. And we're bringing Afton back on. And it's been really fun. This has been an accident that we've been working with animals and rescues and shelters on this live, but I think we definitely need to do more of it because we have some exciting news. And we have another dog to check in with. But it's been very very satisfying to do this because in the back of my book, I talk about wanting to. So, I could have written in conclusion, EFT will help you, blah, blah, blah. No, I wrote let's do this. Let's empty the cages. Let's make this an easy transition for animals coming out of factory farms. Let's make this, we have a tool that we can spread out and use. And so it's just been really fun since I've been working on the book. And I mean, the stories that I have go back to 2004. So I've just been really reliving a lot of wonderful, amazing stories where just it seemed impossible. And I think what we're going to hear about seemed impossible with Draco. And now we've got another one that we're going to work with. So are we ready?
yes, we are. Hi.
Hi.
There's my girl.
Hi. So that is Penny.
Okay, before we talk about Penny, what happened with Draco?
So Draco was my foster on and off for the last 2 months. I've been working with him for the shelter. He had, after some vet analysis and some Joan analysis, I think the consensus is that he has some sensory kind of issues going on and has some swelling in his brain. So Joan saw him being squeezed somewhere, which kind of checks out with the symptoms. He has trouble going up and down the steps. He has trouble getting in and out of the car. He has trouble in the crate. Kind of shuts down, kind of zones out if he gets overwhelmed. So yeah, he had some kind of special things going on. And he was placed in a home yesterday, so his adoption has been finalized.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So the people that have watched or joined us with Draco, you were all in the process of a dog that needed a home, and he's home.
Yeah, the dog needed a home, and it wasn't looking good for a couple of weeks there.
No. No, and the home is really open to continuing to do acupressure points to help keep everything flowing, and she's really open to EFT. So, you know, we can keep doing that with him and see how far we can get him. He has already gone down her stairs, which is really exciting. Yeah. He hasn't gone up yet, but he's only been there, you know, 12 hours. So he's um so we'll give him some time to settle in. Yeah, he seems really happy. They're very sweet, very excited about him, and the mom in particular is really interested in all the extra things that we've done to get him there. So she's going to keep him on the Joan Joan CBD, which I think helped a lot, and going to
Cool.
keep doing all the things. Yeah. Hi, come here.
We always love to hear Jill and Joan CBD helped a lot. I'll
Yeah.
share that at my meeting today.
Are there bees out there?
So we are going to tell me about Penny.
So Penny is a shepherd mix. She's about 50 pounds. Her picture, she looks really big in her pictures. That's why I specified. But she is fresh out of the shelter, a different shelter here locally. She was on the euthanasia list for behavior. She's very protective once she bonds with somebody. So the shelter director took her home actually and fostered her and thought, I'll just help her work through it. Well, she got really protective of her, and then to the point where she didn't know how to address it. So they got me to do some training with her, which we have done, and it has helped a lot. She was belonged to a person who was doing some drug activity in their home. She was encouraged to be aggressive. So her whole time with them, she was taught to chase, lunge, bite, growl, all the things. So she got praised for that, and she was punished when she didn't. So she had some old wounds, bruises, that kind of stuff. And then her front leg was actually so damaged it had to be amputated. So she's now a front leg tripod.
Looking good.
And looking very good. So as far as just moving around, it hasn't slowed her down at all. And she's a total goober and very sweet and silly. When she introduces to other people, though, it's a little rough, and she's still not real sure about other animals. So that's what we've been working on recently.
Okay. How old is she?
She's young. I would say like a year and a half.
And how long was she with the? How long was she with those people, and how long has she been with you?
I've had her pushing 2 weeks, and she was with the other family, as far as we know, her whole time.
So how long? You've only wait. How long have you been in foster and like the amputation and all that?
She was in the shelter, I think, 2 months before I got her.
Okay.
Yeah. And they did the surgery and all that.
Okay. Oh my God! Look at her.
She's ridiculous.
All right. So I'm gonna get quiet and connect with her. Okay. So this is going to be really good to tap on this. Okay, I'm getting weird feedback.
Yeah.
From me?
I think so.
Is that better?
No. I see a ceiling.
Better?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think there
No.
was dog hair in the thing.
Oh my god. That's funny. I usually have hay in my.
Oh,
Wait, no, it's worse.
yeah, the feedback.
It's worse?
Yeah.
Come over here.
Can other people hear that feedback? That's a,
Feedback.
can
Is it any better?
it's when I talk, I hear myself come back.
Oh, I don't hear that.
Do other people hear it?
Yes, they're hearing feedback.
Okay. Maybe if you could mute except for when you're talking, and then it won't matter when we do the tapping. Okay. So this is I got the this is it almost makes me want to cry. She's so lovable and loving, right? Like she's got the biggest heart of almost anyone ever. Like she was just born all heart. And so it's interesting that a front leg and the front chakra, I mean the heart chakra would be taken because she's so available that it was she was almost it she gave too much, if you will. And she has a very deep side. So she says she's very loved. She knows you love her. She knows there are people advocating for her. She feels like she's very trainable. She's very smart. She's very willing. She wants to try new things. But she also has a little bit, partly because she's protecting, originally protecting a leg. She has her eye on things because she had to keep an eye out for those people. She loved those people, loved them. And I think that's still, again, part of this whole like, just take the leg. It's like so heartbreaking because what the sense I got was that it was it was so both. It could be so chaotic and then so low. And that sometimes that there was a level of relaxation almost in that low, except that and she knew there were the kind of in between is like the wind up to the high where then she'd just be kind of ignored. The wind up to the high was when they were training her to do these weird things, right? To just in case because they didn't want to get caught or whatever. And there's some ex-boyfriend. I mean, there were like exes and there were people, like there were people that came in and out. So the wind up to the high was when they trained her to do these things. Then they'd be so high that they'd kind of forget about her. And the lows were so low that she actually often would check to see if people were dead. So this is how intense it was for her. And in those highs, again, if you look at like that wind up to where they were teaching her this stuff and it was crazy and look at that. Whoa, no, not like that, dude, like this, right? They weren't exactly trainers. Then it would get so frantic, she would actually hide. She would know that it was time to leave the room because it was too much. So and it feels like there were 2 or 3 main people that she was with. Some people would stop in, there'd be other animals. Those animals were very tough, and she was just a baby. So she got kind of beaten up a lot by other dogs, and and she was just, this very sweet, lovable dog that not only was kind of taken out by some other dogs, but the people situation. I don't, what they did for training and for fun. I mean, it's just all very tragic because I know they did love her, and she loved them. So she knows how to love, but it was these extremes are, I think, what we have to like bring to like training should be in a Zen place. And I think she got pretty quiet when we were communicating, right?
I saw her just zone, like she just sat there and her eyes were like moving around, like listening. Yeah.
And that's usually when I'm on the phone with people, that's usually what they tell me their animal has done. I mean, she was kind of wound up in the beginning and then they just go, boom. So, you know how we talk about in school, in the classes, like dropping in? I wonder if you didn't drop in or even like went to level in Silva method, whatever, but just really dropped in deeply to that space. When you did the training, I think you could untrain a lot of this.
So you're saying like before we do a session, just kind of drop down like I would with Silva before I would communicate. Okay.
And get her there too. Now, life is going to be life, right? Where life is, oh, I'm at Home Depot and somebody scary is rattling down the road down the aisle with a cart that's got a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be stimulation. Like she's definitely stimulated wise, but I just have to wonder if you almost undid everything from that very quiet space.
I could try.
Because that's not how she was trained before.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
She was trained. I can't tell where my camera. She was trained. Wait, where am I sitting? Here I am. She was trained at this level. Like this is where we are right now. This is where you'd be in Silva. She was trained at this level. So this is always what she like, okay, yeah, no, yeah. So it isn't really like a great neural pathway. You know what I mean? It doesn't, like, I talk a lot in the new book and even in the Energy Healing for Animals about the blue ribbon emotions, like where it's like, yes, this feels good. We did that right? Like that old training is easily undoable because it was never, she never felt like she won the Olympics with it. You know what I mean? She never felt like she did a good thing. It didn't feel like, I mean, it was just like a continual, like this like fake training until then they got higher and higher and higher and she was out of the picture. At first it was because they were so frantic and they ignored her, and then she was like, oh yeah, this never ends well, I'm gonna go in the other room.
I know you said she lived with 2 or 3 people. She did live with a woman and her daughter, her adult daughter. So it was a couple of women, and there may or may not have been a boyfriend in and out at any time that she was there.
Yeah,
multiple, probably.
felt like solidly 2 people and then someone else was always there. And fortunately, when they were high, they were pretty great. And they, I think that there's still a lot of heartbreak there.
Yeah, she bonds really hard with, I mean, in the second day I had her, it was like we were best friends. And she was ready to guard me, protect me, be my person forever. The first day she wouldn't let me in. So she approaches you very much like, nope. And then you got to kind of just let her do her thing and come over in her own time. And you can see kind of the uncertainty. Like you can see her trying to kind of figure out what the expectation is, because like you said, she was trained one way, and then I'm doing the complete opposite, rewarding for the opposite, criticizing the opposite of what they did for her. So she's, the first couple of days, she was just completely and totally confused, you know, and exhausted. And I think now she knows what I'm expecting from her, but still then, you know, she's been with them longer than me. So I'm sure in her mind, when she meets a new person, she's like, are you one of those people or one of these people? What do you expect me to do?
Well, not only are you one of those or you one of those, but I can't figure out my camera. Like I don't know.
There you go.
Okay. Not only are you one of those or you one of those,
There you go.
but it's also, I can read the energy from here to here. And that's why I'm saying the times that she was happiest was when she would figure out that they weren't dead, right? But they were super calm, right? Unfortunately, they were probably hungover and grumpy and, you know what I mean, all those things. But that was when, so that's that lower, that very quiet space is where I think you're going to retrain the whole, you know, you can retrain the brain. And it is retraining the brain.
So, hold on. There you go.
There we go. Yeah, I think she does learn better when we are quiet and calm. So even not intentionally doing that, I mean, that's what I see, because if there's a high level of distraction, I've kind of lost her. So I've got to stay kind of grounded and not push too far too fast with her, for sure.
I think once that's really solid, then you can start introducing, like, this is that space. You know, I grew up, and I'm only reminded of this because I had to reread the book like 3 times over the weekend. And I tell a story about how, you know, I grew up going to horse shows. And you saw, Claudia, we did on a live, like years ago, we did this whole thing with Anya where I just dropped into a space.
Yeah.
And like when I drop in with an animal, I mean, it's intense. And you get it when you're in the horse show. I mean, it's just like in sports, people call it that zone. And I mean, I don't have any desire to show, but I learned very quickly to get that quiet with my horse to be able to do what we needed to do, right? And she's someone that could just live in that zone with someone. So I think if you could teach her that, and then I know it sounds impossible, but find the perfect right person that's willing to be in that zone, right? Just like you found that perfect person for Draco, there's a perfect person for her. So anyway, that's it. Are there any comments?
Waiting to see what people have to say. Everybody was just watching.
Okay, cool. Any?
Well, I have a comment. Just, I've been working with Penny, and I was in the class that read her, and we got all the feedback. And I mean, you took it to a whole new level, Joan, and this is why I'm like so grateful, because it just, that was like the final piece, wasn't it, Afton? Like we knew we were missing something. We knew that there was something not, it was like, we saw it, that it was like right there. And that energy is what was missing.
Yeah, it's that she goes from here to here. She knows that. She sees that. So if something looks out of control, it feels like it's up here, right? But she really only listens here.
Yeah.
So overstimulation at Home Depot is here. You know, and you're going to look around now and say, is it here or is it here? And that, like I said, they even went to another, even up higher level where she was like, I can't do it. I'm just going to go. It's time to go to bed. I'm going to put myself to bed early.
So we have some comments, Joan.
Okay.
Kristen Hedberg says, I love her. Yes, she's ridiculous, Kristen. And Julie said, yes, Claudia, it was so great to have Joan's deeper take after our session with her. Confirms what I got and goes way beyond. Exactly. Look at her. Oh, she's out.
Yeah. Are we ready to do a little bit of tapping really gently?
Yes, please. I'm speaking for Afton and Penny. Yes, please.
Okay. All right. On the inside of the eye, I am so sad. Do you want to repeat, Claudia, for Afton?
Yeah, I am so sad.
Outside of the eye, I am so sad.
I am so sad.
Under the eye, I am so sad.
I am so sad.
Top of the nose, I was so lovable.
I was so lovable.
Under the chin, I am so lovable.
I am so lovable.
Inside of the chest. But it wasn't enough.
But it wasn't enough.
Top of the head, it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
Inside of the eye, I don't understand.
I don't understand.
Outside of the eye, I'm so confused.
I'm so confused.
Under the eye, I am so confused.
I am so confused.
Top of the nose, I am so confused.
I am so confused.
Under the chin, I am so confused.
I am so confused.
Inside the chest, I am so confused.
I am so confused.
Top of the head, I'm so frustrated.
I'm so frustrated.
Inside of the eye, I am so frustrated.
I am so frustrated.
Outside of the eye, I did everything they wanted me to do.
I did everything they wanted me to do.
Under the eye, I did everything.
I did everything.
Top of the nose, I did everything.
I did everything.
Under the chin, I bit people.
I bit people.
Inside of the chest, I lunged at people.
I lunged at people.
Top of the head, I lunged.
I lunged.
Inside of the eye, I can lunge.
I can lunge.
Outside of the eye, I can bare my teeth.
I can bare my teeth.
Under the eye, that's what I'm supposed to do when the level of high is high.
That's what I'm supposed to do when the level of high is high.
Top of the nose, when there's too much, I do that.
When there's too much, I do that.
Under the chin, I just do that.
I just do that.
Inside of the chest, I just do that.
I just do that.
Top of the head, I just do that.
I just do that.
Inside of the eye, I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
Outside of the eye, I'm supposed to do this.
I'm supposed to do this.
Under the wait, aren't I supposed to do this?
Wait, aren't I supposed to do this?
Top of the nose, oh my God, it gives me a stomachache. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Oh my God, it gives me a stomachache. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Under the chin, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Inside of the chest, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Top of the head, I love them so much.
I love them so much.
Inside of the eye, sometimes I thought they were dead.
Sometimes I thought they were dead.
Outside of the eye, I was so scared.
I was so scared.
Under the eye, I was so scared.
I was so scared.
Top of the nose, I was so scared.
I was so scared.
Under the chin, I was so scared.
I was so scared.
Inside of the chest, I was so scared.
I was so scared.
Top of the head, I don't want to live this way.
I don't want to live this way.
Inside of the eye, sometimes they had animals that came in that were so scary.
Sometimes they had animals that came in that were so scary.
Outside of the eye, I was so small.
I was so small.
Under the eye, and I would just get beaten up.
And I would just get beaten up.
Inside of the chest, and they couldn't help me.
And they couldn't help me.
Top of the head, they couldn't help me.
They couldn't help me.
Inside of the eye, they would scream.
They would scream.
Outside of the eye, but that was nothing new.
But that was nothing new.
Under the eye, that didn't stop that dog from cornering me behind the couch.
That didn't stop that dog from cornering me behind the couch.
Top of the nose, that didn't stop him.
That didn't stop him.
Under the chin. I don't know what stopped him.
I don't know what stopped him.
Inside the chest. I think I was small enough to get under the couch.
I think I was small enough to get under the couch.
Top of the head, and all the screaming stopped.
And all the screaming stopped.
Inside of the eye. We didn't see that dog again.
We didn't see that dog again.
Outside of the eye. We didn't see a lot of people again.
We wouldn't see a lot of people again.
Under the eye. It was so fun when it was fun.
It was so fun when it was fun.
Top of the nose, but it got really scary.
But it got really scary.
Under the chin, and I'm still sad.
And I'm still sad.
Inside of the chest, I'm sad.
I'm sad.
Top of the head, I'm really sad.
I'm really sad.
Inside of the eye, I have to let this go.
I have to let this go.
Outside of the eye, I have to let this go.
I have to let this go.
Under the eye, I have to let this go.
I have to let this go.
Top of the nose, I'm letting it go.
I'm letting it go.
Under the chin, I'm letting it go.
I'm letting it go.
Inside of the chest, I'm letting it go.
I'm letting it go.
Top of the head, I'm letting it go.
I'm letting it go.
Inside of the eye,
I
outside of the eye, always want to do the right thing.
always want to do the right thing.
Under the eye, I just need to know what the right thing is.
I just need to know what the right thing is.
Top of the nose, I think I'm doing the right thing now.
I think I'm doing the right thing now.
Under the chin, I'm doing the right thing.
I'm doing the right thing.
Inside of the chest, I'm doing the right thing.
I'm doing the right thing.
Top of the head, I am doing the right thing.
I am doing the right thing.
Okay. Okay, Afton, how does she seem? I had my eyes closed.
Hold on. I have to unmute her. There you go.
Yeah, she had some big releases. She was definitely squirmy and sort of moved. She didn't run away, but she moved around a lot and kind of pulled away from it a little in the beginning. And then that last little bit more kind of letting go of the grief part, she laid down and kind of let me finish. She had a big yawn in the middle. She did a lot of like, she was scratching her ear and like she was like uncomfortable in the beginning for sure.
How is she now?
She is.
So, oh my God.
No, I think that was good. I think it's easy to forget that they are attached to people that, especially in rescue, you know, we immediately put a kind of a this is that person's story and we don't want anything else to do with them. And what they did was not appropriate. But in her world, that's where her love came from anyway.
Yeah, so she did. I think that's the big thing. We had something in the advanced animal communication recently where a dog had been in a hoarding case and you know, it's like they don't know they're in a hoarding case. That's their family. They don't think that,
Oh.
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 But that's family for them, right? That's family.
Mm-hmm. So we have comments.
Okay.
Susie says that Penny is truly being rescued by Afton and Joan. Yes.
Mm.
And then people just commenting on reactions that they saw. Susie said she saw reactions at frustrated, I don't know what to do, animals that are scary, cornered by dog. That was big, by the way. I saw that too. Letting it go, paying such attention to doing the right thing. Oh, and Tanya, Joan, she started covering her face with her paw. I forgot what part that was, and lots of eye movements. It was like, I mean, I could see the neural pathway being
Rerouted.
It was just rerouted, yeah. Debbie Holbrook says, I knew I would need a Kleenex and I did, not because I feel sorry for Penny, but because I'm so moved and thankful for the healing power EFT. A yawn, yes. Tanya said in the I'm so scared is when she covered her face. Yes. She's ridiculous. She's,
I know, Tanya. So how are we getting her up to you?
yeah, Tanya. Look at her.
Yeah, you know, and the thing is like, that's the beauty of EFT too, is that like when you're really in it, then you see things like how far it went with that bigger dog going after her when she was just a little puppy, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that knowing that and really looking at situations where she's between a wall and a couch, or like if she's going to meet other people and animals in the beginning, I think it's got to be like in an open space. You know, just there can't be a weird chair or something there. Although I think she's always looking for her outs because of that situation, right? Like, okay, you know.
Chris Wilson says, thanks for the reminder that these animals love the family they were with, even though it was abusive. I can relate. Yeah. And Tanya says, road trip. She's ridiculous. She's so smart. If you say her name, Joan, she'll look at the camera like head tilt. It's really cute.
Hey, Penny. Hey, Penny. So Tanya, I would fly down to Tennessee and drive back with you and Penny.
Ooh.
All right, I have to teach in a minute. So
yes, so we have to go. I just we were very, but can I talk about the rescue class with her?
Mm-hmm.
So Afton, I'm going to let you take this one about what was going to happen to her the day of the time of the call with the our rescue class. We had a session with her, and then Afton got a text saying it was going to be another dog. I'm going to let you have this one.
Yeah, I usually wait till pretty close to the day of class to get the picture from the shelter or rescue, because I know they may have a more urgent need come up closer to that day. So you just, things change every day in rescue. So she sent me the photo. I think it was Wednesday. Then Thursday, she asked me to switch it for another animal. And I just didn't feel good about it because Penny had that amputation. I was afraid she was sick. And I was like, we were already kind of attached to the idea of her. Claudia and I had already seen her picture. And I was like, what's going on with her? And she was like, well, she's going to go to the vet. And I said, is something wrong with her leg? And she got weird and quiet. And I pushed it a little further than probably I should have. And she said, well, no, like we're going to euthanize her for behavior. And I was like, no. And so we talked about it some more, and she was just dog reactive in the kennels, and she'd been in the kennels 2 months, and it was not, she was getting more and more anxious. And Ashley had taken her home, and her dog didn't get along with her. They had gotten in a scuffle, but her dog's kind of reactive, so it just wasn't a good match. And then when she brought her back, her kennel aggression, of course, was worse because she back and forth and whatever. So I said, look, that's the dog we're trying to help. That's why we're doing the class. Like, don't pull her off the roster. Like, give us today to work on her. And she's like, well, what do I do after today? And so I said, well, she needs some training. She needs structure. And it's not a quick fix kind of situation. She just needs time. And so she agreed to give us time. So she was crying, throughout the class because we were saying things that she knew. She just needed somebody else to say them to her, I think. And then, she agreed to give us a week to train with her. And then she did have a meet and greet with the family and almost got adopted. And it was in an open grassy place. And I gave her a 20-foot lead and just let her walk around and go in her own time. And the lady was able to walk her and give her treats. She just, she has her walls up when she meets people. And so she wasn't overly friendly with them. And I think that they were intimidated by her a little bit. But she learned from that meet and greet. I learned from that meet and greet, and so we'll keep doing them until we find the right person for her. But yeah, if they'll just spend, it takes a day for her to kind of let you see her belly and play with her and her smile at you and all the stuff that she does. She doesn't open with that,
No.
I don't either. In fairness,
I don't either. It will take a long time for anybody to see my belly. Just
Me too.
FYI.
But she gave us a chance. And Penny's still here.
And Penny's still here, thankfully, because of our rescue class.
Yep.
That's part of what the school does. So, yay. And you know what?
And Susie,
Go ahead.
sorry, Joan. Susie said the earth moved under our feet. It did that day. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. I think there's a lot I have to say about this because I really want to, we're going to get this one. This is our next. But I'm going to Mexico on Tuesday. For the next 2 Tuesdays, there could be something that happens in here, but I will be with Dr. Jill Todd writing our energetic physiology class for Jill and Joan. So the people can get certified in acupressure. That's one of the classes they have to have. So there will be snorkeling and writing going on for a few days, which I desperately need. And anyway, we'll figure out a way that we keep this going. Was that good for you, Afton?
Yeah, very, very good. I think it's, when you see an animal every day, it's nice to have somebody else say, here's what I see, them thinking and doing and feeling, you're not as close to it. How you going? We'll keep working on her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We have energy healing for animals tomorrow. We have, it's not too early to start thinking about the fall intensive, October 7th. We will have a little event this summer. Lots of good stuff coming up.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
See you
you.
next week. Okay. Bye.
Bye.